What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Again, I am Kyle with Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. What you see here in front of us today is a 2006 Kawasaki ZX10. I picked this up from another shop. He's out for the winter, so the customer called me up, asked me if I could take a look at it. What he's got going on, he said that basically he gets the cam position sensor error and that he has replaced it and it still will not go away. The other shop actually took care of the fuel filter on the fuel sock on the fuel pump. But what we're gonna do today, we're gonna go ahead and pull all the body work off this thing here. And then we're gonna go ahead and check the cam timing first off, and we'll make sure cam timing is good, because the customer said it progressively got worse and it finally completely shut down and hasn't started since. It still shows a cam position sensor error, even though he has replaced it with a brand new OEM one. So we're gonna go ahead and remove all the plastics, the gas tank, the seat, the lower, the upper, the side cowlings and stuff like that. Put it in time, go ahead and check that out, make sure we're good there. And then we're gonna go ahead and check the cam position sensor wires from up front back to the ECU to make sure we're not having any open grounds there. And if we do, then there's a way to check the ECU for grounds and all that stuff. So stick around, let's jump into that. All right, guys, you can see we got the body work off this thing, the gas tank off, everything. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and do the peak voltage test of the cam position sensor. Let me walk on this side real quick. The sensor is actually back down here. I don't know how well you can see that. I don't have a flashlight on me at the moment, but the cam position sensor is down here, runs across and connects to this connector right here, which has a black and yellow and a yellow red. The cam position sensor colors here are yellow and a white. So what we're gonna do, according to the service manual here, on the cam position sensor, we are going to connect our peak voltage adapter to that. And we're gonna go ahead and connect the red to the white yellow and the black one to the yellow. And then we're gonna go ahead and turn it on, and we're gonna turn it over, and we're gonna see our peak voltage is. We should have right around 0.4 volts or more. We're gonna crank the engine for 4 to 5 seconds. And if we don't have that, then we'll go ahead and move on to the next step. So let's go ahead, and I got my peak voltage adapter already hooked in here. We'll turn that to volts DC, and then I'll go ahead and I'll connect the leads up here, and we'll see what we come up with. All right, so again, it's hard for me to see colors, but that's the white yellow and the yellow. So the black goes to the yellow, the red goes to the white yellow, and I have it ran down here to my alligator clips. And then I'll go ahead and turn the key on. All right, trying to get you guys a good view of this ohm meter here. So that should do the trick there. All right, we're gonna go ahead and turn the key on. Pull the lever in, we're gonna go and crank it for about 5 seconds. All right, let's go ahead and check our do it again. We're on the volts DC range. Showing 1 volt, but 0.4 and above should be good, so that should be okay here. So according to that, we did that twice, and we're getting the same reading, so I believe we're okay there. So the next thing we need to do, we definitely need to check the wiring going from the cam position sensor back to the ECU to see what we have going on there. All right, so it might be a little hard to see, but the black yellow is your ground and the yellow red runs back to the ECU. So what we're gonna do first here, we're gonna go ahead and touch the black yellow. Let me get you guys a better angle here. And then we're gonna go ahead and touch ground anywhere. Put it on ohms or put it on the diode so we can hear it. So we know we're good there. We know we have a good ground because I'm touching the chassis in all types of different spots, all the way up to the battery. So we know that ground's good. So the next thing we need to do, we need to go from the yellow-red back here to the ECU plug to yellow-red, make sure we have continuity back here. It's gonna be hard to put you guys up here to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera and let you know what I get. All right, so I got an alligator clip hooked up there. and come up here to the ECU. We're the 7th pin in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You guys hear that? So we know that the wiring is all good going from the cam sensor connector right here all the way back here to the ECU connector. So there's no opens there. So now we got to figure out what the next step is, since we have good ground back here, or continuity back here off the plug. We know it's grounded. We know that we have continuity from the plug to the back to here, and we know that the cam position sensor is showing proper voltage. All right, guys, so the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead, and I found the camshaft position sensor ohms. It should be anywhere between 400 and 460. You just test between these two here. So I'll point you guys back down here at the at my meter. So let's see what we got here. We are on ohms right now. And what are we at? It's all over the board. That's crazy. Let's try that again. Let's see what we get here again. There's that. And on this connector, 398. That's close enough to 400. Try again. 397.9. That's really close to 400. Like I said, it says 400 to 460. We're a little low, but that's not too bad. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to look through the manual for my next step, because I can't remember what it is on this one. All right, guys, so overnight I was sitting there thinking all night, just trying to figure out what my next step would be on here, because regardless if the cams are turning or not, I still have a cam sensor error. I don't think it's going to be out of time, but what I'm thinking here, I did forget one more test I can do. I know the cam sensor is new, but I can also check from the cam sensor plug to ground and make sure there's infinity. If I get any other reading besides infinity on either side of the plug, when unconnected, or either side of these either one of these terminals, I can't talk as usual. You guys know that. It will need to be replaced, but everything we did so far is good. We check continuity and we check ground on these wires. So there's a couple things that it can be. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and plug in back here on this side with a little pin, and then I will go up here to the ECU and I will check to make sure we have good connection from the cam sensor back here to the ECU on the wiring. If we do, then what I'll do, I'll go in here to the ECU and I'll take the little pins on the inside of there, and I will find that particular pin and I will just bend it just a little bit sideways to see if it makes contact with the connector inside of the plug-in itself. I shouldn't say connector, but the terminal inside of the plug-in itself. I've ran across that on other models where they just weren't making connections, so I might have to change the terminal on the plug. And sometimes you can just tweak them a little bit where they will stay in contact with the terminal inside the connector off the ECU or the rectifier. I've run into that quite a few times. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, we'll do the test here. We'll unplug that, check at the ground. I'm sure it's gonna be okay on that. And then we'll stick a pin in the back side of this, check continuity up here to the ECU, and see if we got continuity through the wire when it's connected to the cam position sensor. All right, so first off, we're just gonna go ahead and unplug the connectors here, the cam position sensor. We'll turn the multimeter onto diode right there. That way when they do connect or makes a ground, we should get a buzz. If I can get my hands right here, you'll get a high-pitched sound. That way we know it's grounded out. Boy, I tell you what, for a new battery, it didn't last very long. It's been out here in the cold. So, all right, anyways, supposed to get up to negative 35 today with tomorrow wind chill. All right, but anyways, besides that, so we're gonna go ahead and touch one side of the terminal, and we're gonna go ahead and go to ground. We have infinity, which is good, and another one, infinity, which is good. So all three tests on the cam position sensor have come up good. Remember, we checked for voltage, peak voltage on this. We checked it for grounds, and we checked the ohms, and all of it checked out. So now our next step is I'm going to go ahead and plug this in, put a pin in the back side here, and check the continuity of the wire to the plug to see if we got continuity all the way through, or if maybe we're not touching one of our Sumitomo connectors, are not touching this inside of here. All right, so I just stuck a little needle back there. I can't find my other connectors right now. I might have lent them out. But anyways, we still got it on the ohms, or the diode one. So again, touch them together, it will beep. So we're gonna go ahead and touch here, and then I'll come back here to the same pin and touch that. So I'm gonna go right to here, and we're gonna touch this to see if we have continuity. And we do. So my next step here is I'm gonna take, if I get the ECU out here. So I'm gonna take the ECU and I'm gonna come in 7 pins from the far right, or actually 8 from the far right. I'm gonna turn that just a little bit to see if I can make connection and see if we get rid of that error. All right, guys, so got everything hooked up. I got the ECU hooked back up. I bent the little tab sideways and kind of up a little bit to make sure that we're gonna get some connection back here. So let's go ahead and turn the key on. What do we got going on up here? No more FI light. That's a good thing right there. No more FI light. That is super awesome. Hard part here, I'm gonna try to set you, I don't have anything magnetic to set on here, but I'm gonna try to set you guys on the gas tank. I gotta pull the clutch in, hit the starter switch. Oh yeah! She starts. She definitely starts. And no FI light. All right. Super pumped about that. We went through all the processes to make sure that cam's position sensor was actually good. You know, we checked the ohms, we checked the grounding, we checked all that stuff. Checked the continuity from the cam switch terminal to the ECU with it hooked up and unhooked, which was all good. So that kind of led me to believe that maybe that pin on that ECU wasn't touching the terminal in that plug. So I went in there, turned it a little sideways, just now turned the key on, FI light's gone, the thing fires up and runs. So I'm gonna let it sit here and warm up for a little bit, give it a few revs. I might throw the seat on it, take a ride to see what's going on. I know I'm screaming, I don't need to, when the microphone's right here next to my face. I apologize about that. So we can hear it's picking up idle speed, it's warming up, getting on that enrichment circuit for a cold start. But we'll check it out here in a few minutes and see if we can get this thing fired up nice and easy, see what's going on. All right, so now it's warmed up here. Let's go on and see if the thing fires right back up. Again, I'm gonna set you guys on the gas tank because I need both my hands for this procedure. Let me get this out. Let me take the key out, get this baby out of your guys' way. You can see the tack that way. All right, turn that off. Turn the key on. Key's kind of in your way there. You can see again, no FI light this time, just a little oil pressure light, which is common. We're at 124. I had to run back inside, take care of some business real quick. HVAC guy came. Fuel pump on. Let's go ahead, pull the clutch in. Try to reach around, hit the starter switch. And she fired right off. So now the next objective is, it's cold-ish outside today. Tomorrow's supposed to be negative 35 with wind chill for some crazy reason, up to negative 35. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this thing all back together, put the plastics back on it. I'm gonna take it for a test ride after I check over the tires, pressures, and the brakes. The chain's got good slack. Add a little more fuel to it, and I'll get back to you guys, let you know how the ride goes in this freezing cold weather. All right, guys, I just got back from a ride on that 2006 ZX10 that was having that cam position sensor error. Runs flawlessly. Bike runs really, really well for what it is. You know, tire pressures are low because it sat for so long, so I made sure I set both of those at the front and rear at 36 PSI. And let it warm up nice. Fans kicked on, cooled it back down. I think the fans kicked on about 210, 205, went back down to like 197, they kicked off, and of course went for a ride. Everything worked great. No more cam position sensor light, and of course that's going to go out once that problem's solved. So basically what we had to do, like you guys saw, we ran through all the scenarios of testing the ohms, testing at the ground, testing the peak voltage output of it, checked the wires from the connector back to the ECU, which was all good. So what was going on there? I went in, I took that pin on that number 7 on the bottom part of that is a yellow red wire, just turned it a little bit. And then I also went in and I rechecked the terminal in the connector itself. I took that out, made sure it was all good, kind of messed with that a little bit, and put it all back together, and boom, fixed that problem perfectly. So hopefully one happy customer. He's owned it for a while and he's been making payments on it for like 8 months and has rode it twice. He's gonna have a heck of a time tomorrow, possibly picking it up and up to negative 35 degrees. So I doubt he'll get it for a couple weeks. And of course this video won't be out till after the new year anyways. Right now it's what, the 21st of December. This video probably won't make it out for a month or 2 months. But next on the list is this 2001 Kawasaki Vulcan VN 1500. Guy bought it off Facebook Marketplace. It's a mess. We're gonna see if we can't make the thing live for him. But again, guys, I appreciate it. If you haven't hit that sub button, please do. I would love it. It's a free way to support the channel and your friends. We're slowly working our way up to that 1,000 subscriber mark. And again, you guys can find me at Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair on Facebook. You can find me, of course, right here on YouTube. Drop some comments down below. Give some thumbs up, thumbs down. You know, a little feedback's always good. And if you guys have any questions about motorcycles, ATVs or UTVs, you can shoot me an email at limitlesspowersports78@gmail. Like I said, find me on Facebook or just comment down below and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. I've been running across some comments that are from way back when, for some reason not showing up. So I'm trying to be a little more proactive on checking that on a constant basis through the YouTube app, TubeBuddy app, my email, everything I can get. And sometimes they fall through the loopholes, guys. I'm a one-man band and it's kind of hard to do all this stuff by myself, but we're making it work. Again, guys, I am Kyle, Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. I'll catch you guys on the next upload.